I just made this video and it was really long, so I guess I'm chatty today. Maybe I won't have as many distractions, it'll be shorter. A lot of you have been asking about what things are actually working for my son, what things are done when people come over to visit with him. There are three different groups of people who come over. First one that's been here the longest is our developmental specialist. And this is the one that at first didn't seem to be doing much. And I don't mean that in any kind of a slam to her at all. From what I understand from her is early intervention a lot of times, if this is you, please don't feel bad. I am in no way putting you on a guilt trip. I know I'm kind of a special circumstance because I have a education degree, so I have some background in child development and things like that most parents don't have, and it is not your fault. It's expensive to go to college and get these classes done, and it might not even help that much. So I think parents are really kind of out on their own when it comes to parenting. But because of that situation, a lot of times what early intervention specialists do is teach parenting skills, because sometimes a delay can be corrected just by parenting skills interventions. So she didn't know what to do with us, really. After she came a couple of times, she was like, okay, so I don't know what to do with you because you already know how to be his parent. So what we do with her usually is we focus on either a skill that we're not sure he knows or that we know he needs to work on. So we weren't sure if he knew animal sounds. We're not sure if he knows how to match. We're not sure if he knows how to name objects because he doesn't talk. We're just not sure. So we practice some of those skills when she comes over. The other thing we do with her is practice some of his SPD things, because we think that has a lot to do with his delays, as him being just uncomfortable. So he's really improved tactile-wise, and she just wanted to see how much. So last time she came, for example, she brought shaving cream, and we painted with shaving cream. She also brought... she brings things that maybe I don't have time to make myself. I'm just busy. So she brought a board with Velcro that has songs on it, and you take the song off it and you sing it. So like Wheels on the Bus, because he loves the music. So she brings things like that for us to use, or activities like that for us to do. This spring we'll plan to do some park activities with her, and that'll be fun. Sometimes two developmental specialists come together. As soon as I started suspecting autism, that's when the two started coming together, which actually wasn't that long ago. It took a while to figure out what was going on with him because he doesn't have the obvious symptoms of SPD or autism. It's not readily apparent. So it took a little while for us to figure out what was going on and what he needed. The occupational therapist started coming in December, and he comes once a month. And I know SPD kids and a lot of kids with autism benefit from having frequent occupational therapy. But early intervention is a state program, and then it's underfunded because, let's face it, when it comes down to it, and it's just the way it is, people don't want to pay a ton of taxes to help somebody else's kid. It's just the truth. I'm not slamming them, I'm just saying this is the way it is. That's just how it is. And early intervention cannot afford to have an occupational therapist visit every kid with autism 3 times a week. It's just not going to happen. So how do you get what your kid needs when obviously the specialist can't be here that often? His developmental specialist only comes twice a month. What do we do in between then? So the number one thing I have to say in getting good therapies for your kids is be willing to learn and build a good relationship with your specialist, your caseworker. Do what they ask you to do, even if you think it's a waste of time, and you'll build a good, they'll know that they can trust you and that you're worth teaching because you're going to use what you've learned. So, for example, with the occupational therapy, when he comes, the first time he came, singing, the first time he came, he wanted us to do sensory diet with him. He can't come over 3 times a week to do sensory diet with him, but he can teach me what to do, and I can do it every day. Now that's not as key. We've decided that's not really what he needs, especially since his tactile stuff is so much better with his diet. So we are doing an activity block 20 minutes a day. Either way, you need to just say, how can I do this every day, or how can I do this so many times a week? And once they realize that you're willing to do that and put in that effort, you'll get the instruction you need. I get it pretty early because our developmental specialist tells the other people who are coming, this mom will do it. You teach her, she'll do it. Another thing that we do is the PECS program, Picture Exchange Communication. And I'm kind of bummed the last video didn't work out because I actually got on here for you. My son actually doing it with me so you could see it. But it starts with just one card, and the idea is that they give you a picture to get what they want. And I know that seems counterintuitive, like, oh great, now he's never going to talk because he can just give me a stupid picture. But the idea is that you're teaching them that they have to, that language is symbolic, and they have to do something to get what they want. They can't just point and cry. So sometimes when he gets really upset, I will say, you can choose. You can use a word, you can use a sign, you can give me a card. You need to do one of them, and he'll choose one of those things unless it's something he's not used to doing it for. So that's been really good. In fact, using the PECS program, we're now up to doing 2 or 3 cards at a time. And in fact, he's finding it so easy that yesterday when our specialist came, I asked her to talk to the speech therapist, and they gave me a whole bunch more PEC cards that we could do then. So now we have a huge bag full of PEC cards he can practice. Eventually, he will have a poster with all the cards on him. He can just take off what he wants and bring it to me. After that, probably a binder. If that continues to be his preferred method of communication, we'll look into purchasing like an iPad or Dynavox, an assisted communication device that'll help us do that too, so it's not quite so bulky to carry around. But yeah, it's a good form of communication because anybody knows if he hands you a picture of Mike and Ike's that you'd like Mike and Ike's. But the benefit of that has been that he has started to sign more, and he has started to try to say words. So we were doing bubbles the other day, and he was giving me the card. Sometimes he was signing more. Sometimes he claps for more, but sometimes he does the sign. So he was signing for more. He was giving me the card when he wanted more bubbles. Also, he would try to say more. I would say, do you want more? While I was doing the sign, you have to say it really long and loud so that he can see how your mouth is making the sound so he can try. And he was saying, no, no, trying to copy me with more. And so then you praise that because he's actually trying to talk, which is a huge breakthrough for him. And he's also trying to say bubbles. He's going, Baba, bubbles. So he was doing really great. And I think I kind of would credit PECS for that. Other therapies that I am getting trained to do or have been trained to do, I've been trained to do the social stories. That is a great way to get more therapies for your kid, is to show that you're willing to learn. So I say, I'm interested in doing social stories with my son. Can you please teach me how to do it? I don't say, will you please write us 24 social stories? No, they have stuff to do. They are too busy. That's why I only get so many visits a month. So if I say, next time you come, can you bring this something for him to do that will help him, and also teach me how to do social stories, then that's on me. That's my job to make them, and my son will get them instead of it just being kind of an empty request or you end up on a waiting list. Also, we will take a class in floor time this next month, and we'll start that with him. Also, a lady is coming next week to teach me to do the learning box with him. So those are some more therapies we're going to be starting. I think the reason I haven't made this video before is because a lot of the therapies are just things we're going to start soon instead of things we're already doing. But the things we're already doing are making a difference. So don't be afraid to ask for more services, but instead of saying, can I have more of this, instead say, can you teach me to do this so I can do it myself? And even if they can't teach you to do it, you're more likely to get it because you've already showed willingness to do it on your own. Good luck, guys. I'd like, if you could, comment with either your experiences using the same things that we're using, or even just other things that are going well with your kid. And that would be great, because the more I can ask for, the more I can learn.